I would say this is happening. This is definitely happening slowly. The reason why it's happening slowly is that what we call agentic AI is all of the tools that you will use to delegate a task to an AI system. And it's actually fairly hard to do it in a controlled fashion with the right governance and in a way that is making the CEO comfortable, the CIO comfortable. The reason for that is that an AI, if you give it all of the tools that you have in an enterprise, it can do everything. But you want to make sure that when you're running a workflow or a process, everything is observable, reproducible, and can improve over time. And it takes some infrastructure. You need to have the right tools in place, the right connection to data, the right management of access, and the right controls. And so the ability to provide both tranquility to CEO and CIO, but yet the flexibility of deploying the agents and giving the power of the tool to the business users is something that is hard to do, and that's, I would say, one of the big source of friction today in the enterprise. That's what we are working on addressing with our product studio, that gives you all of the guardrails and all of the governance layer and the hosting layer, so that you can deploy AI agents in the same place, they can connect to each other, and the business users can actually define the kind of process they want to automate. So we'll get there. It does take time. It takes a change in mindset as well, because the way you build software with artificial intelligence is very different from the way we used to build software, because it's non-deterministic. So we bring the mindset change by bringing our forward deployment engineers that show the way and do iconic use cases that are a way to show what we can do with AI and how this can be reproduced across the companies. We bring the tools so that our customers do not have to rebuild everything every time, which is what has slowed them down as well. And we are starting to see our customers deploy things at scale that are fairly complicated. So I'm quite hopeful that in the coming 2 years, this is really going to scale.
And that's really interesting what you say. It's a lot more complex perhaps than that's being made out, because the public markets, if you look what happened with the software sell-off and Anthropic and Coworks tool, they believe that actually a lot of this agentic systems could wipe out a lot of the need that for existing SaaS and software that companies are paying for. What's your view on that? Do you think that agentic AI is going to be able to take on a lot of the workloads that enterprise are currently paying for from other vendors?
Well, AI is making us able to develop software at the speed of light. So as long as you have the right infrastructure in place, you have the right plumbing, you're connected to the right systems of records, and as long as you're giving the design tools for creating applications to the business users in a way where they can just describe their needs and that's going to create their application, then we do see with our customers that in a couple of days we can create a really fully custom application to run a workflow, to run a procurement workflow, or to run supply chain workflows, for instance, in a way where I would say 5 years ago you would actually need a vertical SaaS. And so there is definitely a shift and a replatforming that is happening where the interface is no longer the thing, where there's no longer the moat. What really matters is the connection, what really matters is the context layer on top, where the agents are constantly pulling from system of records to figure out what is happening. So there is replatforming happening. Now, I mean, enterprise software, I would say, are there to stay because they have very big distribution, and they're also moving toward making their system more agentic and more relying on AI. But the replatforming is a big opportunity for us because we now have more than 100 enterprise customers that are coming to us also with that wheel of maybe changing and replatforming their IT system. So maybe getting rid of certain things that they bought like 20 years ago, and that is starting to be a bit expensive. It's starting to be hard to customize and to maintain. And they see AI as a way to replatform the thing so that it becomes more efficient and less costly.
Fascinating. So how much of an enterprise's current SaaS workload do you think could be taken over by some of these systems?
Well, I'd say the systems of records are not going to change and to move because the data gravity remains very high. But it's hard to estimate, but I'd say everything that is too vertical is going to need to go a bit more horizontal because the verticalization can really occur very quickly. I do expect the large enterprise software that manage big systems of records to try and move up because they need to defend. They don't want to become the system of record commodity to companies like us. But we we really think that I would say more than half of what's currently being bought by IT in terms of SaaS is going to shift toward AI.